So I'm super excited for the game Revival, as it is a continuation.
Mhm.
How did you first hear about the part, or what was your first reaction when you heard that this was a possibility for you?
When I first heard about it, I was like, "Oh wow, the game is coming back," which I always felt like it should.
Mhm.
And I heard about it through my agents, and they submitted me for the role of Brittany Pitts. And when I got the breakdown, I was like, "Okay, I think I might love her. I think I might." And I just instantly connected with her and really fell into her character very easily, which is always a good sign.
Mhm.
So the audition process wasn't too terrifying when that happens. You don't have to force anything.
Mhm.
So that was really, really nice. And we just went through the whole process of sending in self-tapes since the world of COVID doesn't have us auditioning in
Right.
person like that anymore. And it was just really, really a fun thing. I just had fun.
Mhm.
That's what I did. I had fun in the audition. We got to do some comedy and I just like went for it. So
Oh, I love that. Now, obviously, you're familiar with the original game, I assume, girlfriends before that. So, what is it like for you to get to share the screen with some of the legends of the game, like Wendy Raquel and Hosea?
let's just have a talk. The first scene I did with Wendy, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, it's Wendy, oh my God, it's Wendy Raquel. And then we did the scene, and afterwards I said, Wendy, I did it. And she was like, girl, what? And I was like, I just finished the scene with you. And she was like, oh my gosh. It's just her and Hosea and Pooch, they're all just, really, really great. And they have so much experience, so much for us to learn from. And I just really take the time to converse with them and pick their brains and see how they break down the script and the scenes and some of their choices. It's just really cool to see how they fall back into these characters and how these characters are genuinely theirs, but also they evolve with these characters and they've done the work to make their characters evolve.
Mhm.
So it's really a really great learning experience.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, speaking of evolution, we obviously met Brittany in the original series, but now it
Yes.
is years later.
Mhm.
She has blossomed into you. So, where do we find her at the start of the series? And can you tease or just give a general idea of her relationship with her parents now?
We start with Brittany. I don't know if you've seen the trailer. We start with Brittany $1 million in debt.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
She's $1 million in debt and she's trying to make her own way and name. I mean, her parents are Kelly and Brittany Pitts, so that's like it's hard to have her own shoes to fill.
Right.
Everybody just refers to her um as Jason's daughter. But I think that the way that we'll learn about her compared to previously is that you'll really indulge in her storyline. You really get to know her thoughts, what growing up with these parents were like, and all the things that, we didn't get to see in the original.
Well, that's very exciting. I'm also really excited about the mentorship, kind of like a little bit adversarial, but also just a lot of fun that you're gonna have with Tasha. Can you talk about that back and forth and the baby boss that we're getting from the trailer?
Yes, Brittany is a baby boss. I just love when you guys hear all the nicknames that she comes up with for Brittany. It's hilarious. The mentorship is really cool. It's a really different dynamic because Tasha is Tasha, and Tasha goes about things in the Tasha Mack way. But it's always with a good heart and for a greater good. So it's the dynamic is actually one that at first I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to be like this. And now I'm like, oh, now I see why it's like this, But essentially, Tasha is this beautiful, powerful Black woman that stands in her power, knows who she is speaks, uses her voice, knows her voice. And essentially, those are the things that Brittany is trying to do as well. Like as a young adult, she's trying to find her voice. She's trying to find her own power, outside of Jason Pitts. So what a great mentor for her to have.
Now, I feel like I love romance, a side of romance with my sports. Is there, what romance might be in store for Brittany?
Well, Brittany, she is very much an entrepreneur. She's very focused on getting herself out of debt, making her name for herself. If someone stumbles across her path and he happens to really strike her attention and they have a true connection, I think she'll take the time out to at least try and build it where it can be built.
Okay. I accept this. I accept this. So as I was reading your bio and I saw that you studied sciences, which I think is like fascinating. Has there ever been, I know you were a paramedic in Chicago Fire. Was there ever a time where like your training or your studies actually helped you on set? Like you're like, I know what this is about. I can do this.
It helped me more for auditions. I tell you,
really?
I have auditioned so many times for so many doctor roles. And it's really what they call medical jargon is really like just talking to me. So I'm like, yeah, the neutrophils are going to go in there. Your neutrophil count is high because you have a bacterial infection, not the lymphocytes because that's viral, like all those things. And where other actors are like, I don't know what this word means. I'm like, that word is eosinophil. It's a allergic reaction cell for your white blood cell. So it's helped me in that way, but I haven't been able to really use it outside of Chicago Fire being a paramedic. And that's okay because it also like allowed me to, I have a different part of my brain that I can use. So I might not use it with those terms or words, but the analytical part that you need to analyze and understand really helps me with my script analysis, with memorization of my lines and breaking down my character. So it's helpful in its own way.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Now, you're also, I know you're very athletic. Do you get to exercise that on set? Do you guys get to have fun, you know?
I do. It's really cool because our showrunner, Devon Gregory, he genuinely like gets to know us, does his research on all of the cast, and the writer's room will write towards what we can and can't do. So there's a stunt that you will see in episode 2, I believe, where Brittany is doing something extremely athletic. Now, we read it on the page. We got to the set and it was time to do it. And they were so concerned. Oh my God, Adrian, do you think you're gonna be able to do this? We have a stunt person for you. Do you want to try it? Let's try it slow, really slow. Let's walk through it. And I was like, I think I can do it, guys. I think I can do it. And they were like, oh, well, let's walk it. And I was like, honestly, if you all just move out the way, I think I can try it. And I tried it on the first time and aced it. And they were like, all right, let's shoot.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
It's very, my showrunner comes up later. Exactly. My showrunner comes up later and he's like, I knew you could do it. That's why I wrote it.
I love that. I'm glad they had the precautions there, but it's also very cool that you showed them how it's done.
Yeah, I was like, guys, I'm the bacon queen.
Now, finally, I'm very excited to see more game. What are you most excited about the return of the game and then your spot in this legacy?
I am most excited about, I just left ADR yesterday. And honestly, the acting is so grounded. It's still in the same world, but modern, like to today, because the game has been around for a while. It's familiar, but fresh. It's beautifully shot. It's like, we as like the whole aesthetic just pops. Our DP Paul Summers is just amazing. Yeah, I'm excited for all of the aesthetic of it, the realism of it, and for people to get these realistic storylines that they can relate to, and you know, spend time together watching, to like making great conversations. We're hitting things like racism, classism, sexism, colorism. We're talking about all these amazing topics and getting the discussions going. So I'm excited for the world to see all of those and for that to happen from what we're creating.
Oh, I'm very excited too. Congratulations on this role, and I cannot wait to see you flourish in it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.